Yeah, I think within the former Soviet region there are two almost contradictory cases where Russia is playing a different role. One of them is Belarus, and that's a country that is in a deep economic crisis, political isolation. The European Union has just pulled out, literally simultaneously pulled out all of its ambassadors from Minsk. So the country is in a lot of trouble, but at the same time, they've been inviting international investment for a new nuclear power plant that they want to build. Belarus is a pretty small country, but they've chosen in a particularly provocative way to locate this very close to the Lithuanian border, which makes the Lithuanians, who are EU and NATO members, very nervous, obviously. And it's most likely that this will be built at a minimum with Russian money, because the Belarusians haven't got any money. And even though the Belarusians have invited the Japanese and others to bid, it's probably going to be a Russian reactor. I mean, that would just make sense for a whole lot of reasons. And so what Russia is essentially doing is it's expanding along with its political sphere of influence, its linguistic sphere of influence, and its economic sphere of influence. Now it's expanding its nuclear energy sphere of influence to encompass Belarus as well. Now, Ukraine is a country that is playing this issue almost dramatically in the opposite direction. Ukraine is using nuclear security as a way of drawing closer to the United States, maybe neutralizing some of the ways in which the United States and Europe object to domestic politics in Ukraine, corruption, repression, etc., and trying to distance itself from Russia. And that's basically by giving up its highly enriched uranium. Now, ironically, that's going to go back to Russia, but that's an offer that it wasn't really the Russians were pushing for it. It was the United States and the West. And so Ukraine, I think, is playing a much smarter hand on this, even though at the end of the day, obviously, the Russians would stand to benefit from construction, maintenance, security upgrades, etc., that would take place in any Ukrainian nuclear facilities, because, again, it's Soviet-built infrastructure. It just makes economic sense.